Today I took the step to ban an ex-drinking buddy. It's something that I had, in a sense, started doing, but couldn't bring myself to actually break contact with this person. And within me, I want to blame it on that person. But it's me. Drinking buddies, drinkers, never want to give up their ex-drinking buddies. It's fascinating because you can sit around with a bunch of drinkers and we'll each have wonderful things to say about how great we are to each other. You know, how everything's so wonderful. We're the best. So it's not something that the mind wants to give up that readily, the ego. But I started to do it some time ago. And the reason is because I saw this person going down a path that I did not want to go down very clearly. And I made it clear to him at that time. I said, listen, if you go down this path, I'm going to stop spending 3 or 4 nights over at your house drinking with you. And he made it clear to me that he was going to go down that path. So it wasn't not dealing with a dummy. He made the conscious decision to really continue moving towards a great big fall. I would call it a fall. And so I moved away from him. As I said, going from 4 or 5 months ago, going over to his house and drinking 3 or 4 times a week, to within the last 4 months, actually going to his house perhaps twice. Unfortunately, last weekend, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but last weekend was one of those times. And during that time, he asked me if I wanted to attend his daughter's 6-year-old daughter's, I think 5 or 6-year-old daughter's birthday party, and I was non-committal. And yesterday, he text messaged me and asked me if I was going to come, and I replied that I was going to stay around home. The next message I got was not very pleasant at all. I don't know, what did it say? Oh, it said something to the effect of you can be a disappointment to yourself, your friends, and your wife, but never. You can choose to be a disappointment to yourself, your friends, and your wife, but never be a disappointment to a child. So I called him up and I said, hey, self-honestly, I hadn't prepared for this action. The reason I'm not going over to your house is because there's going to be alcohol there and other stuff. And I don't want to put myself in that position. So a couple hours later, I got another text message. This one, what did it say? It said, you are weak and you are a loser. You keep disappointing yourself and everyone around you. Why? Your wife had a school, not you. You were never there. Your wife has a house, not you. She's the one paying for it. Get a life and live up to it. Well, I didn't react. The first one, there was a slight reaction, but I breathed and I stopped the reaction. And this one, I did not react. I realized that those words are his words, his creation, and I realize actually where they're directed to. And so I did reply to a text message. I said something to the effect that for the meaning of your words, use self-honesty and look to self. And to that he replied, yeah, I'm going to read it. Replied, of course I know the source of your, me, myself, and I, observing you and your delusional life and trying to bring you back to reality. Stop always blaming and focusing on others to avoid facing up to yourself. We all have a life of our own and we're living it. You don't. So no reaction there either. I'm okay with that. But what I did realize, finally, is that I've got to completely cut this person out of my life. And so I'm taking steps to do that, steps to do just that. Banning him from my Facebook account. If I had, I won't have to block him from my phone. There's more. There's more that I'm tempted to say, but it's what is it? It's saying something about him and not me. So I'm gonna just talk about me. So that's it. I'm banning this person from my life. To the fact that that's possible. Living in a city of just over 1 million people should be all right. However, we do work at the same place 3 nights a week, so that's something I will have to evaluate. Other than that, I really don't enjoy talking about alcohol. But with regard to alcohol, last month, consciously or unconsciously, it's been kind of a testing period for me. I'm not sure I went into it thinking that, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to test myself. But that's what's been happening. So for last month, I've been actually putting myself, saying, okay, do whatever I want, and allowing myself to do whatever I want, and seeing if I would fall back into those patterns of extensively drinking, going out, partying. No, not really going out and partying, going over to people's houses or inviting people over to my house. And I did not fall into those patterns. So I have made substantial progress. However, I'm acutely aware that without my attention to these patterns, it would be quite easy to fall back into them. So I'm going to continue on with the process that I was in. I'm not making any promises, but I'm going to pay attention to my actions, to what I'm participating in, and consider very carefully, conscientiously, consciously. So it's a process that I'm continuing with, and banning people. I just want to say one thing that regarding banning people and this person. I received information, advice on this long ago, and I just was slow to react to this, to act on this advice. There's no excuses here in terms of me not knowing. I knew. So I'm going to leave it there because my 10 minutes is almost up.